know the game.
Rob, what another win here by the New England Patriots, baby. That is now 4 wins back to back to back to back. And that is what we call a winning streak, Rob. That is what we call the New England Patriots are back, Rob. 31-13, the New England Patriots take care of business against the Tennessee Titans. Look, we all know it's the Tennessee Titans at the end of the day. I'm going to hear it in the chat. I already heard it in the chat. No, this is not the hardest of opponents in the world, but at the end of the day, the Patriots don't need to have the hardest schedule in the NFL every single year, every single week to prove a point. Because at the end of the day, you know what good teams do first, Rob? What good teams do first is they take care of business. They beat up on the bad teams. Everybody said that it was the Carolina Panthers and not the New England Patriots when we blew them out a couple of weeks ago. But now the New England Patriots hand their second blowout of the season now to the Tennessee Titans. Not only is this team beating up on the bad teams, but they're blowing out these bad teams also. I had a Bills fan earlier in the live watch party telling me, hey, congrats to your Patriots, but at the end of the day, you still have only beat one good team, and that's the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills haven't beat a good team, period. In fact, the entire AFC East outside of the Patriots have not beat a good team. You don't pick your schedule. The New England Patriots are just playing the games that the NFL is giving to them, hard or not, and they are taking care of business. Rob, what did you think? Initial thoughts about this 31-13 win?
I take this as this is the first time since 2019 that the Patriots have won 4 games in a row. I take this as a team that we beat up. We did what we were supposed to do. And for me, as far as I'm concerned, you're not going to beat this team if you play good for only 2 quarters. You're going to have to play 4 quarters of good football to beat us. And I don't care who the opponent is, because no matter who you put in front of us, we're going to make it a game. Like it is what it is. You're going to have to play, because we played way more disciplined today. And the run game got it going today. So it's just going to take, and they're feeling themselves. So it's going to take a team that plays 4 quarters to beat us. And I'm really proud of this team. 5 wins, more wins than any of the last 2 seasons. Everybody said that we were not going to be anywhere close to 5 wins. Everybody was scoffing at the idea of having Mike Vrabel on the team as opposed to Ben Johnson, or why would we let Jerod Mayo go? I wonder where those people are right now, because they're pretty quiet. They're pretty quiet. The same people that said Drake Maye was just a bust quarterback, Mac Jones 2.0. First of all, if you evaluate Mac Jones and Drake Maye on the same playing field, that goes to show me where your knowledge as far as football goes. But I'll just leave it at that. I'm gonna let you kind of read between the lines.
Yeah, I mean, they're not even the same playing style. One's a pocket passing quarterback, and the other, Drake Maye is closer to Cam Newton than he is Mac Jones, like in terms of playing style.
Drake Maye is a complete quarterback. Drake Maye is literally a complete quarterback, and I will go and double down on this, and I'll give you back your show in a second. I will double down on this. Josh Allen was not at this point in this point in their career. Not even close. It's metric miles. This man was 21 of 23 today. 91.3%. Had only been done, actually, never in Patriots history.
Patriots franchise history.
Never been done. So that's a record that no matter what happens from here on out, he holds that record.
Yeah, Drake Maye broke a Tom Brady Patriots franchise record today. Isn't that crazy?
Tied his consecutive completions that he did in last year's game against the Titans. 16 straight. But
Rob,
I would love to
take a look at. Were you able to take a look at the post game locker room video that they released? Did you see that yet?
I saw it very, very vaguely, because obviously I was doing daddy duties. But yeah, I saw it. Vrabel tried to make it not about himself, and then Drake Maye's like, hold up.
Yeah, exactly, Rob.
Hold up.
You see that leadership, baby? You see that leadership that Drake Maye? The fact that Vrabel was like, hey, Guys, we have a lot of better football to still be played, but we play complimentary football at the end, and that's all that matters. And then he tried to leave, and Drake May came in with the football in his hand and said, whoa, 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 whoa. No. And then he went to go on to say how much that this team loves Mike Vrabel. By the way, that's a direct quote. He said, "We love you, coach, and we love playing for you." And the entire locker room went wild. On top of that, you had Vrabel doing the little dance work. And everybody just starts going crazy. Like, the vibes are absolutely high. And Rob, we heard going into that Panthers game, because I don't know about you, but when somebody says, Colby, where did this switch happen with this New England Patriots team? You lose to the Raiders, and then you beat Miami, but it's close. And then obviously you end up losing to the Steelers, 5 turnovers. What was the turning point for you when you saw this team and said, this is different? It was going into that Carolina Panthers game, because you had Jack Gibbons, the Patriots linebacker, say, leading up to that game, the vibes were high. Everybody believed in this team. Everybody knew that they were just going to go out in that game against Carolina and make a statement. He said the vibes were never this high. He's never been in a locker room with the vibes that good. What did they do? They took care of Carolina, and ever since then, this Patriots team has been on an absolute bender. And you're seeing, even with that post-win locker room video today, that the vibes are high. They're all bought in. They're all playing for each other. I mean, even Stephon Diggs saying that, he's completely bought in because of what Mike Vrabel is doing and what Mike Vrabel is preaching.
And on top of that, like, you go look at this team, I think that Steelers loss might have been a saving grace, because you're coming off a win against Miami, and it was the highest of highs. You went into the House of Horrors and beat them for the first time in years. And the thing is, this team got way too high on themselves, and they got slapped in the face against the Steelers, albeit that it was self-inflicted. Doesn't matter. We still kind of slapped ourselves in the face. And I think that, like, the biggest thing about this team is they play like they know they can win games. There's no lead too big. It just feels like this is a team that, I understand. People are going to be like, well, it's the Tennessee Titans. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to beat up on bad opponents, and when they make mistakes, they make mistakes. It's all about adjustments, and we made the second half adjustments were just critical. How we play. I thought we played a very soft vanilla type game in the first half in terms of how we schemed up the offense, and then we kind of switched it up. Josh McDaniels opened up the playbook a lot, and then you see a whole totally different team in the second half. Plus, we were also getting to the quarterback, not at will, but generating enough pressure to make Cam Ward off his spot. This team, there's a lot of passion with this team. There's a lot of like non-quick attitude. And it starts with the up top with Mike Vrabel, but also kind of resonates with the rest of the team in terms of like, I look, man, I cannot overstate how much of a contribution Josh McDaniels, his offense looks crazy. And this is like in the past where you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's going to be a screen pass, or this is going to be a misdirection run. And I can't even guess what they're going to do on every other play, where in the past you could be like, hey, you know what, that's going to be. It's just because it goes to show you, when it comes to play against a quarterback of Drake May's caliber, you kind of have to pick your poison, because he could beat you with your legs, he could beat you with his arm, and if you have a run game like we have now, and they get anything going like we did today, it makes this, to quote Andrew Callahan, lethal, because you know what, pick your poison. Because if you load the box, Drake May is going to pass it over your head. If you play soft coverage, Drake May is going to run by you with his own legs. Pick your poison, because if we get something going, and this is, I know I'm kind of stealing your thunder a little bit, Colby, but this is all without a wide receiver one. I'm not taking anything away from Kayshon Boutte, Stephon Diggs, and all the wide receivers who played exceptional today. But let's be honest. There's not a blue chip wide receiver on this roster currently. It works right now, but if you get this guy that has a guy that can tie up two people in man coverage, it's going to be scary.
I absolutely agree with you. And I really think that overall, the biggest breath of fresh air with this New England Patriots team, and there's certainly a lot, but the biggest one, at least for me, is just having a culture and just having a coach who, what he said this team was going to do and what they were going to be built upon is exactly what they've done. And every single thing that Mike Vrabel said in his introductory press conference is exactly what this team has now done in 7 weeks of this brand new system, year one of a new regime. And you're telling me that not even halfway through the season, you've already established everything you've talked about? I mean, compared to last year when we had walk back Monday and we didn't know what this team was and what we were established upon, and you see these guys going crazy and you see them fighting for Mike Vrabel, it is very, very reminiscent to me. And I'm not saying this is exactly what this team's going to be, but it's very reminiscent to me of Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. It's what we thought that this team was going to be last year under Jerod Mayo, and ultimately it wasn't. But we saw that there was emotion from the players. There was emotion from the coaching staff, that the head coach was going to put it all out on the line for his players, and that he would go out there and die for his players. And because of that, the players would go out there, leave it all on the field for him, and those damn players would also die for their head coach. And right now, that's what we're seeing. The vibes are high, and we see this team motivated. We see everybody's on the same page, but most importantly, we see that everybody's bought in. And I'm not just talking about the starters and the star players and the guys that are out there making plays. Those aren't only the guys that are bought in. There are guys that are simply out here to return the ball, that are simply out there at the wide receiver position, that are looking to block. They're doing their job, and they're doing it to the best of their ability, in large part because they understand that they are valuable to this team. That even if you're the guy that's returning kicks from the practice squad, you're a part of this team, and you're going to be brought in like you are a starter on this team. So nothing but love and nothing but praise to Mike Vrabel for everything that he has done. And I always say that a good coaching staff will make a bad roster look good, and a bad coaching staff will make a good roster look bad. And right now, Mike Vrabel is making a brand new roster. Over 50% of this roster turned over this offseason. A brand new coaching staff halfway through the season, making it look like a brand new team, a team that we have not seen since the dynasty era New England Patriots. So there's a lot to be excited about. Before we get into this offense, though, I wanted to give a big shout out to everybody who's already in the chat, who's already showing love with the donations. As always, if you guys want your questioning, comment, concern, throw it up there on the screen with a guaranteed response. Donating is the best way at doing so. Shout out to my boy, your boy, Gerard, who comes in over on Venmo and says, still can't believe in and appreciate you. Tell TD Pat's talk to jump ship and become a Patriots fan. And so I'm pretty sure TD is already like 50% Patriots fan, because you got Richie chirping sometimes, you got Dan chirping sometimes, maybe trying to bring us down a little bit. TD used to do that, but at this point, the Dolphins are down so bad, he's forced to be realistic, and he's been giving the Patriots a lot of praise, man. He's had the Patriots winning for like almost the entire season at this point, so I'll give TD that one. So, guys, I'm with you, though, Gerard. Comment on TD's videos. Be like, hey, there's a spot for you. Patriots Global, Patriots Talk. Well, actually, DTN has that, so unfortunately, TD can't do that one. But we'll figure out a name for TD for sure, man. Big shout out to Gerard for the $20 super chat. Big shout out again to Justin, who became a member of the channel during our live watch party. And, whoa, a massive, massive donation here from Patriots 92, a $50 donation. Patriots 92, man. Absolutely love you. Absolutely appreciate you beyond words for coming and supporting the channel every single week, and especially dropping a massive donation, man. Helps support the channel significantly. You said pass protection had a bad day, but they've been good all season, and Titans D-line / scheming was straight up good. I'm curious how the Cleveland and New York Giants game will go. Need to see some improvement, but they deserve leeway for now. Absolutely agree. And, while pass protection took a step back today, run blocking went forward. So where you lost something, you at least gained something also. And look, it's the Tennessee Titans, and this is what I'll say, Rob, and then we'll get into like Drake, man. We'll start breaking these positions down specifically. But what I will say in reference to the super chat is, I think people assume that when you have a bad record and you're bottom of the league, that all of a sudden everybody's just bad. There's no positivity towards your team. We saw the same thing as Patriots fans last year. We're like, yo, watch out for Drake Maye. He's showing promise. Oh, but you have 4 wins on the season. How could you be a good team? The Tennessee Titans have good players, more specifically on that defense, more specifically on that defensive line. Tennessee's got one of the best D-lines in the NFL with one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. Rhamondre Sweat activated from IR, played in this game, had a sack. Jeffrey Simmons, who I know went down with an injury in this game, but he still played, and he's obviously one of the best defensive linemen in the league, a crazy, crazy playmaker. He's actually had top 5 most positive plays out of all positions, out of all players in the NFL through 6 weeks, according to PFF. And so there's a lot of really, really good guys. And so it was going to be a struggle for this offensive line. and it certainly was. I don't think that a lot of the issues did come down to just straight up one-on-one matchups. Like when I looked at the sacks from Drake Maye, and I'm not saying all sacks weren't one-on-one matchups, but a lot of it was just passing off blocks and stunts and whatnot that really killed the Patriots in this game. It came down to blitzing. It came down to rushing more guys, and the Patriots had blockers, and the guys just not having the chemistry enough built up just yet to be able to stop those stunts. So again, I do agree with you, but again, where we maybe lost some of that pass protection ability this week, I feel like we compensated for run blocking. Rob, any thoughts on that?
Look, at the end of the day, they gave Drake Maye enough time to go 21 of 23. Like, gave him enough time in the pocket, and you just got to take your licks. That was a good D line that we went against. They're also pretty damn good in against the pass. I believe it was against the pass. I think they were 11th against the pass. So another team that was good against the pass, and Drake Maye scorched them again.
Yeah, don't discount that secondary either. They got Hooker back there who intercepted Drake Maye last year in overtime. They have L'Jarius Sneed at cornerback, who is a starting corner for the Kansas City Chiefs before they traded him to Tennessee last offseason. So they got some guys on that defense, both in the pass rush department, on that D-line, but also in the secondary. And the Patriots ultimately, now I know not all points were from the offense, but 31 points overall on the day. And like you said, Drake Maye was cooking. So, not everything can be perfect, but I thought a blowout win. You got your quarterback sacked a couple of times. I'll live.
Like, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't expect perfection from a team that's just thrown together and has a brand new coaching staff, has a brand new everything. The fact that we are, like, I believe, way ahead of schedule, extremely ahead of schedule, and the fact that we're competing. I mean, like, the Colts are up on the Chargers right now by 14 with 13-40. We can almost guarantee the 2 or 3 seed. I think at worst, I believe we were the 4th seed if the seeding aligns the way it is. We're playing like really good football right now. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even think this team is even close to its peak.
Mike Vrabel says the same thing.
Like, I don't think we've played our best game. I think our best game is still ahead of us. I think that this team is just learning how to win in situations that maybe might not be as pretty. And you know what? I'd rather have my ugly wins, and I know that this was really relatively a clean game, outside of a couple penalties here and there. But I don't even think we're remotely close to our ceiling.
Rob, I want to ask you a question before we get into this game. And it's a relevant question because for those who tune into the watch parties and the other shows here on this channel, I've told you several times what I believe is a successful season for the Patriots, which, by the way, I'm not going to go and I'm not going to change that up. I'm not going to say, wow, the Patriots are performing above expectations in this season, so now I'm going to move my expectations for this team. No, because at the end of the day, factors stay the same, whether this team was terrible or whether this team was undefeated. And those factors are that this is, again, over 50% of the roster turned this offseason. This is Drake Maye in a brand new system. Drake Maye with new wide receivers, a new OC, a new quarterbacks coach, a new running backs coach, a new offensive lines coach, a new defensive coordinator. All these things, we have to remember that it's year one of a brand new system for a brand new team. Rob, in your own personal opinion, what would you consider a successful season for New England here in 2025?
Well, we can't go based off now. We got to go based off coming into the season, right? So that's where I'm saying that, like, where did everybody have, because you can't go based off the consensus. You got to kind of like go with the good and the bad. So I think that maybe 8 wins was something, because it's like you're overturning over 50% of the roster. You got brand new coaches. You have a quarterback that you don't know whether or not he's going to pick up the offense, right? You don't know whether or not the defense is going to be good or not, because you could throw a bunch of players on paper that look good, that they will look good together, but they don't perform. So at the end of the day, I believe 8 wins coming into the season, hence anybody that's joined in the chat now, is where we're at. So going into the end of the season, 8 wins would be a successful season. Now, obviously, like, our opinions change based off how this team is looking. But I would be upset if we won 8 wins, because that means that we only win 3 games the rest of the way. And I just think that this team is just much better than that. I think this team has, this is a crazy take, I think this team has the capability of having 12 wins. Like it really is, because when you go look at the schedule, it's not a hard schedule. I obviously don't want to overlook any opponent, but it's not like this, you got world beaters we're going against. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I would even take 10 wins, because this is coming off a season, the last like 4 or 5 years where this team was just like four wins, and nobody was giving Mike Vrabel any pause, because they were saying any kind of consolation prize for being coach of the year when he was, I believe it was 2021. Nobody was giving him any type of credit for that. They're saying it was he walked into a situation where he had Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, et cetera, et cetera. So now, if he goes and turns over a 4-win team and he wins 10 games, that should almost definitely give him coach of the year, does it not?
I don't know. It really depends for me how far the Colts go, to be honest with you.
Okay, I mean, I could see that, because the Colts are all obviously a team that, like,
they're doing some crazy stuff.
They're doing some crazy stuff
balling.
too.
They're balling. I think that's his biggest struggle. I always thought heading into the season he was going to be a top 3 candidate easy, and he is. I think he's second right now. Which, by the way, love you in the chat too. I appreciate the love. But no, I completely agree with you. You know, by the way, you know, Mike Vrabel, and by the way, Vrabel, I see someone giving me in the chat saying I said Grable. I never said Mike Vrabel. Okay. I met Mike Vrabel. Okay. I'm telling
Maybe
you,
I said it. I apologize if I said that. I mean, sometimes I stutter.
I know the guy's name. Okay. I met him. Okay. I think he would have corrected me if I said, hey, Mr. Grable, can I get a
Oh, no. Mike Vrabel would 100% check you.
Mike Vrabel would have been like, I don't know who you are, but I ain't getting a picture with you if you don't even know who my name is. But look, anyway, I agree with you that for me, a successful season was doubling your win total from the last 2 years. So if this team got to 8 or 9 wins, I consider that a successful season, because you are seeing that they're building upon something. You see that they're on the upward trajectory. The expectation is not playoffs and winning the division and even winning a playoff game. To me, that was always 2026. So I believe that if the Patriots get to 8 or 9 wins, anything after that to me is house money. If we go to the playoffs, Rob, and we have 10 wins and we lose in the first game of the playoffs, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to whine and I'm not going to bitch and moan about it. I don't care if we get blown out, because guess what? The expectation wasn't to do these things in year 1. The expectation is year 2.
I still think that now you kind of have to adjust that, though. You were 5-2, and for us to not win at least 10 games, that might be a bit of a letdown, considering that the opponents that are coming up. When you have the Jets still twice, the Baltimore Ravens, is Lamar Jackson going to play? The Cleveland Browns, I get they're going to be hard against us on defense next week, but they have no quarterback. It's just a lot of wins. I obviously
today.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying any given Sunday, but they also played the Miami Dolphins, and if I'm not mistaken, did you take the Browns in the AFC East roundtable?
I did take the Browns. Yeah,
okay, well, so and Tua Tagovailoa turned into Tua Tagovailoa, which like we told Dolphins fans for the longest time that he's not a good quarterback, and the fact that he doesn't take accountability, but that's not here nor there. But we have enough. I don't want to undersell the opponents, because obviously, like any given Sunday, the Titans could have won this game if we didn't kind of like button down the hatches. But I feel like if we don't win 10 games, that's kind of a letdown, because I just at the pace that we're at, and that I know I don't want to play the moral compass game, but like if not us shooting ourselves in the foot, we're 6-1, and I'm not talking about the Raiders game. That's a loss. That was not going to be a win. Yeah. But that Steelers loss, that was us beating ourselves. So based off that, because the Steelers are a good team, they're a good team. So if somebody says, "Hey, listen, your only quality wins against the Bills," no, that's a lie. We didn't beat the Steelers.
Rob, I hate to break it to you, but it still is the only one.
I'm sorry. In my head, I'm like 5 turnovers, but if this team wins 10 wins based off of what we have right now, I think that's a win. I would probably be upset if we got less than 10 wins.
I certainly think they'll get there. But again, to me,
it's 5-5 the rest of the way, bro. Like, do you know how like? Just no, don't think of it like we're 5-2. Think about what we have left. We have 10 games left. You have to go 5-5 the rest of the way. 500. This team is not a 500 team the rest of the way. I'm sorry, because we still, like I said, and I know I'm being a homer, Colby. We have not played our best ball. I'm serious. I don't think we've played our best game, and I know we put up 42 against the Carolina Panthers. And by the way, that's another sneaky game that people are underselling. That like the Panthers are kind of on a hot streak right now, but I don't think we play. I think 5 games for the rest of the way. You're thinking we can't win 5 more games?
No, I certainly think this team will get to 10, but like depending on what the circumstances are, if they did
Obviously
only get
injuries
to 9, I wouldn't be upset because I'd still say, look, the expectation is still the same. Like the factors that we talked about coming into the season are still the same. And I understand that there's still going to be trials and errors. And I think the biggest thing too is that progress isn't linear. Sometimes this team might take 2 steps back to go 3 steps forward. And that's okay too, because we all know the argument is the one game where Drake Maye maybe doesn't perform up to par, or when he turns the football over in a game, it's, oh, Drake May's back. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. It's like, no, Tom Brady had bad games. Josh Allen has bad games. Patrick Mahomes has bad games, but do you have more better games than you do bad games? I think that's how you determine how good a quarterback is.
I think you can't even say that, like, if he has, say he's going to have a bad game, it's coming up. Everybody has it in their career, but you cannot say like the norm is not him passing upwards of 70%, because we have a stretch of games that literally represents that. And the fact that the run game opened up today and they had Rhamondre Stevenson ran like he was basically trying to go get his paycheck early. Like, if we can get that version of Rhamondre, or how Mike Vrabel met Jennings in the hallway and said we have our new 5-minute back. If we can get some semblance of a run game, because we haven't, I mean, like up until this point, he was averaging, 20 yards a game? If we get anything out of our run game, this is a scary freaking team.
Jaden Daniels just left the game again. Man, can we talk about the downfall of the Commanders? My gosh, what happened to that?
Yeah, but you know what? They said that he was going to be a better quarterback than Drake, man. How's that take looking?
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I always said that Jaden Daniels was the most NFL ready, but he didn't have the highest ceiling. He was oldest. Like, what you saw with Jaden Daniels is what you were getting.
He's injury prone.
Untapped potential. That was also a concern. We're seeing that this year. But
what was
Patriots 92 with a $20 donation says Broncos and Chargers are both losing big means. We'll be the 2nd seed heading into next week. Got 2 games against tough defenses coming up though, and then a shootout against Tampa Bay. Those games should tell us how good this team is. I agree, because you're not playing the Panthers, you're not playing the Tennessee Titans, but you also beat the Buffalo Bills. So it's like, it's going to be a real test, Rob, because those in-division games can really swing anyway. And so are we really this good team that can go to the postseason year 1 and really make a push immediately? I think that game against Atlanta, I think that game against Tampa Bay, I think Buffalo later on, like, those are going to be the true tests. And even this upcoming week against the
Browns are very good.
The Browns have the number 1 defense in the NFL, according to multiple different metrics. And they had 2 picks on Tua today. One was a pick 6, which isn't saying much, but it's going to be really, really tough for that Patriots offense. And it's going to be a true test for what can this team do as early as next week. But again, you have the Browns next week. Then after that, you're going to have, the Atlanta Falcons, and you're going to have Tampa Bay. Patriots are going to go on the stretch where it's going to be not guaranteed wins, not guaranteed blowouts, but it's going to be against real football teams that are going to give you a test. And that is going to determine what this team really is. But nonetheless, Broncos are falling. Chargers are falling. I'm actually trying to look at what is that Broncos score right now. Broncos are, wow. Oh my God. Broncos are losing 26-8 against the Giants. Rob, there's a world
the
in which
Giants,
man, as we thought either.
No, I kind of seen this from the Giants team, because Russell Wilson was kind of a shell of himself in terms of being a quarterback. He's not that same quarterback anymore. And this kid, Jackson Dart, has this confidence about himself, a little bit of arrogance, but sometimes that's kind of like that reverberates throughout the rest of your roster. It starts with your quarterback. What happened?
So me and some of the guys from the Roundtable Sports, right? We were down at the Senior Bowl a couple of months ago, getting interviews with these guys and checking them out. Obviously, Jackson Dart was one of the guys who participated. And Richie from Jets Media, he goes and he asks him, he's like, hey, like, what part to your game do you think translates best to the NFL? Which is a very, very reasonable question. It's a great question. And Jackson Dart goes, just turn on the tape and you'll see, bro. he said, watch the film, bro. That crazy thing to say. Like, it's like he was like looking at Richie, like, what do you mean translates best, bro? Have you seen me play? I'm a baller. But respect to him, I guess.
If it works, it works. But at the end of the day, that arrogance can bite you in the ass. That's why, I mean, look, I don't mind arrogance, but I really love what Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel have done for Drake Maye and his confidence. Because last year he wouldn't have stood up in front of a group of men like he has now, where he's getting people to kind of follow him. I mean, what was it last game? Was it Harold Landry and all them saying he was in Ultra Instinct mode. Like, this guy with his play is getting people to kind of follow his lead. So, look, Jackson Dart is balling out, but sometimes that arrogance can bite you in the ass. I'm just happy that we got a humble guy.
Rob, we still have a lot to break down from this game, but
I apologize.
I actually want to do something. I want to do something that isn't directly correlated necessarily to this game because, look, I know that there's going to be a lot of people talking about this game, and you guys are going to watch a lot of videos and a lot of podcasts talking about this game, and you're still going to get our opinions. But I also want to touch upon things that maybe other people aren't going to talk about. And I want to start looking at the playoff picture after every single game when we do these shows, Rob. And so I'm going to do that right now. And I want to pull up the current AFC and NFC playoff pictures according to NFL.com. Please keep in mind, not all these games are solidified, so there is a lot to change here. But the Colts, okay? The Colts are number one. They're projected to have that first-round bye right now. They're playing the Chargers, and currently they're winning. They're
by 14.
Ultimately, exactly. They're going to win this game. They're going to win this game. Second place is the New England Patriots, and we have now moved up 2 spots. The New England Patriots playoff probability right now, Rob, is 79%. After that Carolina Panthers game, it was like 60 to 63%. So you're seeing that go up and up and up. And if the New England Patriots just continue to win, you're going to see that those playoff chances also continue to rise. The Chargers, who were lightning hot in the beginning of the season, they've calmed down. Obviously, we talked about them just a second ago. They're losing to the Colts. That ultimately will drop them. If they lose, they actually have a worse chance at the playoffs than the Patriots, a 63% chance when they ultimately lose to the Colts. Then you have the Pittsburgh Steelers, who also dropped 2 spots because they just lost to the Bengals and Joe Flacco. They have a 63% chance also to make the postseason. You got the Buffalo Bills, who are on a bye week. They're currently sitting at seed number 5. They have an 83% chance to make the postseason. The Denver Broncos, and this is really interesting, if they lose, which they are, they
down by
have
10.
58% chance to make the postseason, and they are currently the 6th seed in the AFC playoff picture. And then you have the Jags, who have been wildly confusing this year. They currently have a 57% chance to make the postseason. So that's kind of your playoff outlook right now. And because nothing's solidified, we don't know who exactly the Patriots would play. A couple of weeks ago, the Patriots would have traveled to Orchard Park to play the Buffalo Bills. Heading into this game, Buffalo would have came to New England to play the postseason. So those are things that we'll figure out once the overall seeding is solidified for week 7. But that's your overall playoff outlook. Rob, any thoughts about this?
It really just depends on how the Steelers-Packers game, and I mean how that goes. Because if the Steelers lose, I would think we would have the 2 seed, because the Chargers lost, the Steelers would have lost, and the Broncos will lose. So we would literally have the 2 seed, and obviously the Colts, we can't leap them, because obviously they would beat the Broncos. They would beat the Chargers, I mean.
For whatever it is worth too, Rob, these are the teams that are on the bubble. Obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs, they blew out the Raiders today.
Yeah, but I mean,
But they're getting healthier. That offense is looking a lot better with them getting wide receivers back. They currently have a 75% chance at making the postseason. The Bengals have a 22% chance. If the Texans lose to the Seattle Seahawks, they'll have a 49% chance. If they win, they'll go up to 65, but currently a 54% chance for Houston to make the postseason. 3% for the Raiders, 6% for the Browns, Which is, I feel like this is a little bit high for the Ravens, but all right, 43% chance for the Ravens to still make the postseason. And then the rest of these teams are at about less than 1%. So again, that kind of gives you your playoff outlook.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, like, it's still relatively early in the season. Like, anything can happen. Obviously, injuries happen. I mean, coming into this, like, 2 weeks ago, the Chargers looked like a team that was a juggernaut. Then they lost the right and left tackle, and then look what happens. The season can. This is not it's a fluid season. Like, it can change at the drop of a dime. Knock on wood. Someone on our team goes down, then you have a situation which we've been playing pretty good in terms of like keeping healthy. But anything can happen. I think the biggest thing, and I would tell this to all Patriots fans, and I know I'll get ahead of myself sometimes, but we need to not act like we've been there. This is not the team that had Tom Brady. This is a team that, like, it's a brand new team, brand new culture. We need to pretend like we haven't been there yet. So
yeah,
everything is earned up until this point. Don't overlook any opponent, even though I kind of said before this game that the Patriots are going to blow out the Titans, and I was right about that.
Man, shout out to Moses, who comes in the $5 donation and says, "What's going on, my Patriots brother Colby? Our New England Patriots are 5-2. Let's go, Pats Nation and my Patriots family. Let's go, buddy. We are absolutely on the rise. We are feeling good right now, man. I don't really know the last time that I felt this good about the Patriots. I mean, like I said, like, I grew up. Like, I was born in 2001. I grew up with Tom Brady. I grew up with the Patriots being good. So I never really understood what that was like to love a team and watch them lose. And so once 2020 came along, and really the end of 2019, it was this bit of a different phase. And I think that was a shock kind of value for the majority of this fan base. And so being bad for the last couple of years, Rob, and kind of learning what that feeling is like, and now seeing this team back up on the uprise and just seeing all of the emotions, it's truly been a thing of beauty. And I really feel like Pats Nation is truly coming back together as a family, and it's like a reunion, and it feels amazing. And so we got to keep riding high together, but when there's bumps in the road, we got to stick together. We got to keep believing in this team. Let me tell you to all my Patriots fans out there, okay? You guys have been dominating even on road games. You guys showed out today in Tennessee. There was
MVP champs,
Patriots fans, than Titans fans out there. You're chanting out there MVP. You're chanting out there for Mike Vrabel at the end of the game. Those are the vibes we need to continue. We need to take over the NFL again. We need to take over these stadiums, and we definitely need to take over Gillette Stadium again. We need to crowd Gillette Stadium next week when we play the Cleveland Browns to give this team the love and motivation that they rightfully deserve. So, man, loving what I'm seeing from Pats Nation. You guys, we are absolutely back. But, Rob, you talked a lot about Drake Maye prior to us kind of talking about a few other topics, but another really, really good day from him. He goes just under 300 all-purpose yards, like 280 something. He goes 21 of 23, a 91% completion percentage, 222 yards, 10.6 yards per throw, 2 touchdowns, another game with 0 turnovers, sacked 4 times, and a 135.9 rating. He was second for the Patriots in rushing yards, 8 carries, 62 total yards, 7.8 yards per carry, and a long run of 19 yards. Any just final thoughts that you have of Drake Maye that you didn't get to say before?
So, remember how I said he was on pace to break Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow's records for being on the road? He's almost smashing them at this point. We'd like to see what the numbers are. But let me just go down a list of some of the things that Drake Maye's accomplished up until this point going today. Drake Maye just became the first quarterback in Patriots franchise history. That's not Tom Brady, and I'm not a slight at Tom Brady, but just goes to show you what this kid's capable of. To complete over 90% of his passes with 20 or more attempts, 21 of 23 with 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm not done. Drake Maye is the 4th NFL player in Super Bowl era with 2 passing touchdowns, 2 or 4 fewer completions. By the way, same amount of touchdowns as incompletions today. And 60-plus rushing yards in a single game. The others were Lamar Jackson in 2019 at Cincinnati, the Washington Redskins at the time, Robert Griffin III versus the Philadelphia Eagles in 2012, and Walter Payton in 1983 against New Orleans. I'm not done. Drake Maye's 39-yard touchdown pass to Kayshon Boutte traveled 52.6 yards in the air. Maye's second of the season, over 50 yards by air distance. You know, they like to hype up Patrick Mahomes, but he didn't do this. Maye is the only quarterback this season with multiple touchdowns that has traveled over 50 yards in the air. I apologize if I'm stuttering. I'm not great. Not done. Drake Maye's pace as of week 6 is 4,719 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. This kid is playing out of his mind. And if someone wants to say, hey, listen, this guy's better than him, how many quarterbacks are you taking over him right now? I think you give the nod to Patrick Mahomes just because he has the Super Bowls, and you have to give him the nod because he has the pedigree. But outside of that, I don't take any quarterback in the NFL right now because Jared Goff has Amon-Ra St. Brown, and all these other quarterbacks have a wide receiver one. Joe Burrow, if he was playing right now, has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. No offense to our wide receivers, but we do not have that caliber of talent on the team. And he is doing this at this level without a wide receiver one, and up until this game, no run game. Albeit that Rhamondre Stevenson was doing good today, but I want to see it string together more consistently. But he's done this with all these things working against him. The passes that he's making. He's not going 21 of 23 doing screen passes. He's launching the hell out of the football and completing it. He's the best deep ball thrower by a metric freaking mile this season. And it's not close. So, to all the haters. Sorry.
No, please keep going.
To all the haters that last year that told me when I said he was going to be a top 5 quarterback, or that he was in 3 or 4 years that he was going to be the best quarterback in football, you might be eating your words. Or if I'm wrong and he turns into Drake Mayo last year, I will admit I'm wrong. But at this moment, I would love to see you in the comment section because I'm right.
Drake Maye in this game has tied 2007 Tom Brady for the most games of at least 200 passing yards, a 135 passer rating, and 2 passing touchdowns in a season. I feel like every single week I'm coming here and I'm telling you guys some stat about Drake Maye with his passing yards and his rating and how it's legendary. I mean, the last few shows we're talking about him being in the same pool or surpassing guys like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Brett Favre, Joe Montana, just to name some of the quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers. It's really, really good company to be with. And you see that the team also believes in Drake Maye. And I think with what we're seeing, based off of what we're seeing Drake Maye's teammates saying about him, there's going to be so many people that want to play for New England because they're going to want to play under Drake Maye, because they're going to believe in Drake Maye. It's going to be easier to get wide receivers here. We're not going to be in a situation anymore where Brandon Ayuk says, I don't want to go to the New England Patriots. Nah. Throwing me the ball. Now you are going to have
stay over there.
Want to come here because you have Drake Maye, which, yeah, by the way, I don't want Brandon Ayuk anyway.
Stay over there. You had your choice
on that one. I think we dodged a bullet on that one, but we're no longer going to be in the situation where big time players saying no to the Patriots because they don't have a culture, they don't win, or they don't have a quarterback. It's very different here. Kayshon Boutte posting on his Instagram after today's win that he believes Drake Maye is MVP. Posted a picture of him and Draco, says as himself, MVP. So you know that those guys are going to go out there and fight for him and try to get Draco in just his first year that MVP title. I thought Drake May's doing what Drake Maye does. And Rob is getting to a point where I can't keep saying every single week, wow, Drake May's balling, Drake May's great. It's becoming the expectation. And I said that the last couple of weeks. And it's valuable to be able to say that, for lack of better words. It is something that very, very, very few fans can say about their quarterback, that this type of play is becoming the expectation every single week. If a Jets fan or a Dolphins fan had their quarterback doing this, they would be out here saying they need to extend the guy immediately. But us as Patriots fans, we're saying it happens every single week. This is what we're expecting out of Maye. Again, not just through the air, but what he's doing on the ground. 62 yards on the ground today. 222 yards through the air. Another game with just under 300 all-purpose yards. My biggest gripe with him today is just don't put your body in harm's way. The best ability is availability. He got checked out at one point, and Joshua Dobbs came in. And look, Joshua Dobbs did very, very good in extending the play and keeping us in the game until Drake Maye was able to come back. But There's been a couple of times where we've seen that happen, where Drake Maye has to get checked out, make sure he's okay, and he's come back the 2 times that he's had to get checked for a concussion this year, but obviously got a concussion last year, has had some injury scares for New England. The best ability is availability. Please stay in the game. Please go out of bounds to avoid contact. Please slide. Today, he was balling. He was making plays. Again, 62 yards on the ground is crazy, but I don't want to see him putting himself in harm's way, especially like a team against the Tennessee Titans where he really didn't need to do that. Might get your team fired up. You might feel good. It might help the stats, but I want to see you play the entire game, because when you have harder opponents, that's when we might need you to take a big hit and it actually be the difference between us winning and losing the game. So that's my only gripe with him. I think he'll be fine. Other than that, I think we saw Drake Maye run the football a lot today. Again, 8 attempts, but I don't think that it was a situation where he was running the ball too much because he was scared in the pocket. It felt like when Drake Maye was getting out of the pocket, it's because it was truly collapsing on him and he was keeping his eyes down the field. He truly remained as a passer until he realized there's nothing open downfield and I need to just run this damn thing, because there was a lot of times where Drake Maye would get outside the pocket. He would get flushed outside. He would keep his eyes downfield, try to extend the play like we've seen him do so many times this season, and nothing's open downfield. And because he was patient and didn't take off too soon, there was a defender on his heels and he had to just run out of bounds or throw the ball away and live to see another down, which is great. But you also want to try to take an advantage and try to gain yards where you can. And so I thought he's done really, really well at knowing when do I remain a passer versus, okay, when do I take off with the ball and pick up some yards. So overall, really good day for Drake Maye. There's really nothing that I can say about it at this point. I mean, you know, the big question for him was, can he dink and dunk? Can he operate short to intermediate and still drive the team down the football field, put up points, and be accurate and not to turn the football over? And that's exactly what he's done. I think a lot of people have been surprised over the last couple of weeks with Drake Maye's ability down the field. And I'm not surprised at all, because, Rob, we've always known that that was the best part about Drake Maye. That's where he was most comfortable. That's where his accuracy is the best, is deep down the field. But the problem was that he was always trying to push the ball down the field, that it was resulting in interceptions and turnovers because teams were just trying to take everything away over the top. They were saying, we are going to play everything over the top, and we're going to force you to beat us short to intermediate. We're going to force you to dink and dunk, and Drake Maye wasn't doing that. Now that teams know that he can dink and dunk and they can get the ball rolling short to intermediate because he has such good accuracy, now they're having to switch up how they're playing Drake Maye a little bit, and now it's opening up opportunities for him deep down the field. I mean, even that play to Stephon Diggs in the fourth quarter where he just dropped it in the breadbasket, the play earlier where Matt Collins ran a go route and he was able to get ahead of, I believe it was Hooker, the safety for the Titans, but they had safety help over the top also, and Matt Collins was just sandwiched in between 2 defenders, and Drake Maye drops it in the breadbasket. It's plays like that I think we're finally starting to see develop in this offense, because Drake Maye was able to develop in those short to intermediate sides of the field.
I mean, at this point, you got to kind of take your poison. Do you want to play closer to the line of scrimmage? Well, then he's going to beat you over the top. Okay, you want to play deep? Okay, he's going to dink and dunk you. The fact of the matter, Josh McDaniels needs to get his flowers. The guy has turned him into, like, last season, he would look down at the ground. Now he's stepping up into the pocket. He's keeping his eyes up. He's taking the sacks. And not only is he taking the sacks, he's holding the ball and keeping it out of harm's way. I personally think that tackle he got where he went to stiff arm the guy, I don't know if I really blame him for that hit, because it's like, how many times are you going to see where he's basically going to get thrown to the ground like that and kind of hit his head on the ground? Like, with him basically stiff arming 300-pound defensive lineman, I don't know if I would take that away from him. So there's a lot about his game that, like, really has improved significantly. His deep ball, he's taking the intermediate things. He's constantly keeping his eyes upfield, and he knows, because they've been drilling it in practice, basically simulating pressure and having him step up in the pocket and making the throws when he would think, hey, listen, this is my internal clock, because I'm assuming Josh McDaniels reset his internal clock to like, oh, hey, listen, this is when you need to get the ball out. And he's been doing that. And what I'm going to keep harping on is the fact that he is willing to take the sack. Is it sexy? No. But at the end of the day, he's not throwing interceptions. He's not committing turnovers and putting us behind the 8 ball where we're in harm's way. He'll run out of bounds, and even if he loses a yard or two, the fact of the matter, he's keeping himself out of harm's way for the most part because he slid a lot when he was running the football. Outside of that one run, and he's not committing turnovers. This is a guy coming into the season that people were saying comparison, and rightfully so, that he's Josh Allen light, basically a guy that would put the ball in harm's way, and he's kind of proving those narratives wrong because, like I said, and I'll keep on saying it, Josh Allen wasn't at this point in his career. Drake Maye is a metric freaking mile ahead of development in terms of what Josh Allen is. Because as far as I'm concerned, Drake Maye's not being compared to Josh Allen of his second year. Drake Maye's being compared to Josh Allen right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you take Josh Allen now over this Drake Maye, you're losing your marbles because Drake Maye right now is a better quarterback. Say what you want, people lie, numbers don't. And right now, because let's not act like the Bills have played world beaters. They haven't. They have not. And Drake Maye's playing better ball. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's not close. I don't think it's close.
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations, too, where Drake Maye has a lot of development to still go. And I'll give it to Josh Allen in the sense of, like, he's still getting better every single year, and it's a testament to how hard he does work. But Drake Maye is so young. He entered the league at 21. He's, 23 right now? And so there's so much time to still develop, right? Like, he didn't have a whole lot of time of development at college. In high school, he was a COVID kid, so he didn't have a lot of time to develop there. And so we're seeing Drake Maye develop in real time, and there's still certainly a long way to go. And I think that is the really, really exciting part. And what does it look like when he gets like this bona fide number one guy that can moss between 3 defenders and make these insane catches? When you're able to get a guy like that, I mean, it takes it to the absolute next level. And there's already been rumors going around there about some of the guys the Patriots are targeting that I'm going to talk to you guys about this week. And so it definitely feels like the team understands that you got to get that bona fide number one guy, and they're trying to do so.
Who are you taking right now? Are you taking this version of Josh Allen, or are you taking Drake Maye? And I will live with whatever your answer is.
I'm gonna take Drake Maye just because I also like. Well, does the developmental upside of Drake Maye play a factor at all? Here's my
thing. Josh Allen has a top 3 offensive line. Like let's call a spade a spade. He has one of the best rushing attacks in football. So let's just call it how we see it. I don't think that the targets that Josh Allen has on offense, I don't think Shakir, I don't think Keon Coleman, I don't think these guys suck. I think Josh Allen is getting too much in his own head that he needs to play superhero ball. And what happens is now that he feels like he has to be able, I mean, literally, your head coach said that they're making it too hard on you. I don't want to hear that. This is a guy that won MVP. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly doesn't have a great supporting cast. I like Dawson Knox. I like Dalton Kincaid.
Looks like the same roster to me.
Shakir's obviously good, but like outside of that, I was not a Coleman guy. I think he was overhyped. Curtis Samuel, like, come on, this isn't 2019, and so yeah, but like I would take Drake Maye right now because I think there's a lot more developmental upside, and I don't think that it's really far off. I mean, he's actually playing, statistically speaking, like he's playing better than Josh Allen right now in terms of the stats, and the stats do back that up. So like I will take Drake Maye. I'm going to take my guy right now.
He's the best quarterback in the AFC right now, and you probably could make in football. And that might be a crazy take, and I know people are going to come at my jugular because if I'm wrong, I mean, I'll say I'm wrong. But right now, I don't think there's a quarterback in football other than you maybe might make a case for Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield. Like, I did a video on it on my page. Like, literally just about every statistic, Drake Maye's ahead of Baker Mayfield. So if Baker Mayfield is being lauded in the MVP conversation and you have a guy over here that is above you, I don't know what we're going off of. Because at that point, it's like, okay, you're going to say this guy's the MVP, but he doesn't have the stats to match this guy? Like, come on.
Oh, shoot. Denver's making a comeback, 26-23.
Yeah.
26-23, man. That's crazy.
Honestly,
no Giants, man.
no. Honestly, I kind of want the Broncos to win, and the reason why I say this because I want the Chiefs not to make the playoffs. Because the bigger that the Broncos make this uncomfortable for the Chiefs, the better. Because I would rather I would rather not see the Chiefs, and not because I don't think that the Chiefs are we can beat the Chiefs. I'm tired of seeing this whole Patrick Mahomes narrative because, by the way, how the hell do you have 0 penalties against the Lions? That's crazy to me, especially some of the plays that this should have been penalties. But I would rather see the Broncos make the playoffs and stop hearing this crap about Patrick Mahomes.
Dude, it's crazy that Denver came back to us. Like we were talking like 10 minutes ago, how down they were. Like, what happened? But
it's a top 10 defense that's playing like they should, and it really is. You button it up, and then it's anybody's game at that point.
It was the Jackson Dart interception that really turned things around. But Rob, looking at this rushing attack,
they are up.
England Patriots. Oh, Denver took the lead.
Yep. I don't know what just happened because it was 23-26. I might have been what just freaking happened?
Was it another interception?
Overview. I don't know.
Chat, let us know. We're doing a show, and so we don't know what exactly happened. Somebody please fill us in.
They were down by 17.
Rob, like we were just.
They were down by.
We were talking 10 minutes ago. Like, what happened in like 10 minutes?
They were down by 17. They were down by 18 actually because of the extra point. They were down by 18. The Giants just choked an 18-point lead. Wow,
that's crazy. But Rob, looking at this rushing attack, obviously the Patriots have been struggling. No, dude, like I'm still trying to figure out how exactly this happened.
Wow.
Because we'll be playing the Giants not too long from now, so something to keep in mind. But Rhamondre Stevenson gotten a lot of hate. Obviously, a lot of Patriots fans being done with him. Got to move on. You got to look elsewhere. He's not playing well. Why is he still the starting running back? Patriots have one of the worst rushing offenses in all of the NFL. They've been one-dimensional, having to do everything through the air, somehow still getting it done. But in this game, the Patriots were able to get a run game going, and it was quite literally, outside of Drake Maye, of course, all Rhamondre Stevenson. Rhamondre goes 18 carries, 88 yards, 4.9 yards per carry, 1 touchdown, long catch of 16 yards, or long carry of 16 yards. That guy did not come off the field, okay? He was balling in terms of the rushing attack today. The Patriots came out offensively on their first drive, ran the ball 3 times back to back to back. It was like 8 yards, 20-some yards, another 8-yard carry after that. He was eating. The blitz pickup was great. His ability at catching the ball was great. This was the best game we've seen from Rhamondre Stevenson this season, and it isn't even close. What were your thoughts?
I mean, I believe it was on the first drive. He had like 40 yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he kind of slowed down towards the end of the game, but I mean, our offensive passing attack was kind of eating. And also, Drake Maye was using his own legs. So, like, overall, I think the run game in general, I would have liked a little bit more out of Travion Henderson, even if it was a chunk play here or there. But I don't know. I don't like running halfback dives with Travion Henderson because I feel like although he's a guy that can embrace contact, I think he needs to be used like on outside zone runs, maybe pitch plays. I don't think it's his game to kind of run like a halfback dive. But in terms of like the run game today, I loved it. Like, I think that it played like this is something that we were kind of asking for, right? And because of Rhamondre Stevenson kind of playing in his bag today, it opened up situations where you could play action. And on top of that, the play action opened up the ability for Drake Maye to use his own legs. So you kind of had to pick your poison against this team. And I really just was like very satisfied with how things turned out.
The offense, I don't know what that was. The offense ran the exact way that you wanted it to, right? You wanted to run the ball effectively and efficiently in order to open up the pass, to create the RPO game, and that's exactly what they did today. Now, look, one game is not a trend. One game is an anomaly, and I do want to point out the fact that 133 yards, okay, that is the amount of rush yards that Tennessee was averaging per game heading into this game. And so there was going to be an opportunity to run the football, and we knew this. You lose Jeffrey Simmons, even more so there's an opportunity to run the football. And so I did believe that there was a world in which they could get it going today, but I didn't believe it because even when you played the Buffalo Bills, who are the worst run defense in all of the NFL, you still couldn't get something going. And so there's certainly positivity to take away from this. You're going to play defenses that are a lot better at defending the run. I want to see Rhamondre be able to do this consistently because now we have a trend and now we can rely on this. One game is an anomaly. One game can ultimately come down to, okay, the opposing team just was lacking. But if he starts to do this on a regular basis, I think it's safe to say that Rhamondre Stevenson is back. And Me personally, I was just saying all game long, don't fumble the football, don't fumble the football, don't fumble the football, because I think a big issue for Rhamondre this season has been that he's been in his own head, because before that Steelers game, he wasn't bad. Like,
I
he
called
had
it.
some good runs. And because he was in his head, he was thinking too much about not fumbling the football, that he couldn't act instinctively. He couldn't get off the line and just run and be pure instincts. But today he did that. And I think getting the momentum he did can be very, very positive for him. He just has to make sure that he doesn't fumble the football again, so that we're back in this situation. And if he continues to perform the way he does, because fumbling's the only issue. Other than that, he runs the football well. He runs the football effectively. He's great in blitz pickup. He's great with the football in his hands in the receiving game. It's just the fumbling problem. And if he doesn't fumble the rest of the season and he continues to perform like this, we're going to be in a situation where we're saying maybe the Patriots need to add a fourth running back for depth purposes, but this whole get rid of Rhamondre, find a new bell cow running back. Like, I don't think that that's going to happen if he continues to perform this way, but only time is going to tell. TreVeyon Henderson still showing that he's a rookie. He only got 2 attempts because of how well Rhamondre was doing. 5 overall yards for him on those 2 carries, averaging 2.5 yards per run. Longest run was of 3. I still think he's a rookie. Rob, he's seen the wrong holes. He's, running straight into defenders. He's struggling in blitz pickup. Everybody's saying, play TreVeyon more, play TreVeyon more. We got to play him more. Why is he not playing? He's not playing for a reason. And I guarantee you that this organization, if they believed that he was ready to play, they would throw him out there more. But you also don't want to throw TreVeyon Henderson to the wolves to now it's like, well, just let him play, let him develop. And now he's in his head because he's struggling and he's not ready. You don't want to throw a player in there, a young player, a rookie player, while that moment is still too big for them. And right now, it just feels like TreVeyon Henderson is still learning how to be an NFL running back, to where maybe we're not talking about TreVeyon Henderson in 2025. Maybe we're talking about TreVeyon Henderson in 2026. I think he's going to be a good player, but we've also iconically seen that with Josh McDaniels, he would usually redshirt these running backs. He didn't redshirt TreVeyon Henderson. It usually is that second year and that third year that running backs under Josh McDaniels start to thrive. I think that's just what we're going to ultimately end up seeing with TreVeyon Henderson.
I mean, we kind of were backed into a corner in terms of like our running backs, because like Antonio Gibson is a freak injury. We didn't expect him. He was supposed to be a running back too. But as far as Rhamondre Stevenson, I literally called this. I said that, and then Mike Vrabel came out and said basically proving what I said, that basically he's in his own head, that he's only playing not to fumble, because it was causing him not to hit the gaps or not to see the gaps, because all he's thinking about, hey, listen, I just want to not fumble. And what happened is he started you can't play loosely if you're just thinking about not fumbling. You're not seeing the holes. You're running into your own offensive lineman, and you're not quite playing to your capabilities. Today, he was able to play a lot more looser. And I'm just hoping that this is a trend, that he starts stringing these games together and he starts playing to the level what he's capable of. This is a good running back. I'm still kind of critical of him, because I want to see if he can string together games where he does not put the ball in harm's way, because that is still his MO. I don't care if he does one good game. Same thing aligns with Pop Douglas. Until I see something consistent, I'm not going to be like, hey, listen, I was wrong. And you guys know I will be the first person to come on here and tell you when I'm wrong. But I want to see him string together games so I can say, hey, listen, guys, I was wrong. As far as TreVeyon Henderson, he is still a rookie. He's still learning the game of football. Here's the thing. Here's why you shouldn't overhype. And I was one of them, Colby. You don't overhype the preseason. You don't overhype games against second and third string players, because you're not playing against starters. Maybe this is something that we kind of think about when we go and look at the preseason going forward, and probably won't. We probably see a preseason guy and we'll probably hype him up. But let's let this kid develop. He's still figuring it out. And the great thing about it is it's year one. And until he starts to show a little bit more promise and he learns how to play a game of football, and he pass blocks better, because that was his MO at Ohio State, and he just hasn't quite.
Drafted him.
Exactly, but he hasn't quite lived up to that expectations yet. But I'm not mailing it in on TreVeyon Henderson. I'm just like, okay, he'll figure it out. He's a rookie. That's a great thing. It'll be the same thing when we look at Drake May. Were we going to mail it in on Drake May because of his rookie year? No, it's like, hey, listen, he'll figure it out. Maybe some nuances. Maybe it might be just getting a little bit more confidence in himself. He's going to have a breakout game, and maybe he'll figure it out from there, gain some confidence. But today was, let's call it as we see it, today was Rhamondre Stevenson's game. And if the tote and the guy running the ball has got the hot hand, why don't you just keep on letting him run the damn ball? And he played, I mean, like in the first drive, let's look at it. The guy had just like so many plays, like back to back to back to back, where he's ripping off like big runs. So, and he's playing like he's running to run you over. Playing loosely, not playing to fumble, to not fumble the ball, but playing within himself, because this guy is a good running back. I've said that he's a good running back. It's just the biggest thing is not putting the ball in harm's way and hurting your team in situations where we can score.
Dude, and so I have the Giants game on in the background, and third down for
in
the
19,
Giants,
and they converted it.
No, and so there's a chance that this is pass interference. There's a flag right now. Pass interference in the end zone, which means Giants would get the ball at like the 1 yard line.
Holy shit.
Which means that there's a good chance they win this thing. And all they had to do was make sure you just don't have a penalty and just survive fourth down, and Denver could come away with this win. And they might lose this thing off of a technicality.
Damn.
This could be, I mean, the refs are still talking. And so I think if you have to talk that long, if you're the refs,
well,
so like,
what's
like
the money line? What's the money line? Who's got bets on the Giants right now?
Okay, so it wasn't on the goal line, so they're not down at the 1 yard line, but they're down at like the 3 yard line because of the.
Was it accepted?
Oh yeah, it's a major call.
That's huge.
That's a they have this thing. No, it is down at the 1 yard line.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad.
Wow. I mean, dude, this is like that was like a 45 yard penalty by Denver.
Wow. And it was third down, was it not?
It was third. Yeah, it was third down. And it would have been incomplete if the guy just doesn't call pass interference. And so then you're saying Jackson Dart throw a bomb in the end zone on fourth down, which is a whole lot easier to defend. Look, I know you guys are here to ultimately not listen to this game, but like,
this is critical. No. This is critical because this is
a turnover. It's a turnover from what you and I have been talking about. When we were talking about this game earlier, when looking at the playoff picture, the Giants are up by like 18.
This is a critical.
Denver has a lead by 4. And did Jackson Dart just get in? Hold up. Guys, I promise we're going to finish this game, but this is an insane game. Let's see if the refs call it. Jackson Dart with a quarterback sneak. Does he get in? He might. That might be a touchdown. And if that's the case, there's no way that Denver is coming back.
Man, I don't want to say that because there's still 40 seconds on the clock.
Okay, but like you believe in Bo Nix? Because I don't know about you. I don't.
I don't. I think he's a freaking check down merchant, and I know a lot of his numbers back that up.
He controls the game. He's a clock manager. That's what he is at quarterback. He's not a star.
Yeah, but you really don't need to do anything but get in field goal range and tie it up because this would put them up 33-30, and all you would really need is to get 40 seconds is plenty of time to get it in field goal range.
Potentially tie it. Yeah, that's a good point. But all right, well, the play's under review. Rob, what were your thoughts about the offensive line, ultimately how the Patriots performed? We talked about it a little bit earlier, but kind of just to wrap us up. I know D says here, shout out to D for the $2 donation, says, Wilson is not a good run blocker, shaking my head, referring to Jerod Wilson, Patriots rookie starting left guard. What were your thoughts?
I mean, look, man, they're still rookies.
Touchdown.
It's like 24 seconds left. Look, at the end of the day, I would have liked to play more cleaner, but like I said, they gave Drake May the opportunity to extend plays enough to go 21 of 23. At the end of the day, I mean, you got to take your lumps. This is a defensive line for the Titans that's very good. And I would like us to limit the sacks, but some of those sacks were just like, I mean, at least like 2 of them was like Drake May running out of bounds. And it's like he just nothing was open and he kind of just ran out of bounds. I don't think that they played great. I think they played pretty damn good when it came to run blocking. But look, as it is, they gave Drake May enough time to throw the football. And 21-23, the pocket was clean enough. I thought Will Campbell, that one quick false start, he's got it. I believe he has 4 on the season. He needs to be better at that. I think he's trying to time the snap where he gets ahead of the line, kind of like a Lane Johnson. Who else does it? Any Chiefs offensive lineman that doesn't get called for it. I think he's trying to be able to get. That's because like he does have shorter arms, so he tries to like. That's how he That's how he works his way of trying to be timing it up. But I think they did all right. Like it definitely could be better, but they did their thing for what it's worth.
By the way, Rob, just referencing back to Drake Maye, I wanted to see if PFF had these numbers out, and they already do. So shout out to PFF for getting these things out.
Wow, that's quick.
But a 95.5 adjusted completion percentage. And for those who don't know what that is, he had an original completion percentage of 91.3.
That's
adjusted
insane.
Completion percentage doesn't account for passes that are thrown out of bounds or are dropped by the wide receivers. It's purely based off of the quarterback. Was your pass accurate or was it inaccurate? And Drake Maye with a 95.5 adjusted completion percentage. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely insane. Trying to see.
I mean, the kid had 16 consecutive completions in a row. And these are not like dump offs. Some of these were like bombs. By the way, really incredible fingertip catch by Kayshon Boutte. But like they played good, man.
And so before we get into the receivers, I'm looking at these numbers right now. So Cam Ward had an average time to throw of about 2.85 seconds. Drake
Too
Maye,
long.
Get this, Rob. You think the offensive line was bad for the Pats in terms of pass protection? Drake Maye had an average time to throw of 3.03 seconds. So he had time to throw. I think the issue came down to when the Titans were sending more guys and the Patriots had blockers, they weren't picking up the stunts correctly. So for the majority of the game, the Patriots offensive line performed well in terms of pass blocking today, but I think that there were just random times where they got overwhelmed, and in those rare times where they did, that's what caused the sacks. So I don't think it was a thing where all game long Drake Maye was under duress, though, and the numbers do ultimately end up backing that up. So again, I think the run blocking improved today. I thought that there were inconsistencies in pass blocking, but it wasn't as bad as I think some people ultimately think it was. But Rob, let's go ahead and let's move on to these wide receivers for the Patriots. Do you know that Stephon Diggs actually led the Patriots in receiving yards this week? I think some people might have thought, hey, maybe Kayshon Boutte, maybe Matt Collins. It was actually Stephon Diggs who led the Patriots in targets, receptions, and yards. 7 targets, 7 receptions, 69 yards, averaged 9.9 yards per average, long catch of 24. That was on that go route in the fourth quarter. A lot of dinking and dunking, but he came up clutch, especially in the third and fourth quarter in the second half of this game when it mattered the most. Kayshon Boutte was second for the Patriots, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 55 yards and a touchdown, averaging 27.5 yards per reception. Like every single catch that Kayshon Boutte's had for this season, for the most part, has gone for a first down or more. Long catch of 39 yards, which went for that touchdown. Matt Collins had a really, really good game today also. 2 targets, 2 receptions, 49 yards, averaged 24.5 yards per carry. I thought Matt Collins looked really, really good in terms of his ability after the catch, but the highlight catch was, again, on that go route, sandwiched between 2 defenders. Beautiful ball dropped in the breadbasket by Drake Maye. And then after that, I mean, Hunter Henry, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 33 yards. He was just clutch when they needed to convert. That's where they went. Pop Douglas, I thought, was really, really good today, but he only goes for 17 yards. 3 targets, 3 receptions, 17 yards. People will say, what do you mean he was really, really good? He didn't do much.
That 4th down conversion.
When they went his way, Pop Douglas was clutch. 2 out of his 3 catches were major, major conversions, okay? 2 of which were on the same drive. That 3rd down conversion by Joshua Dobbs, he shakes off the sack, delivers the throw. He goes out to Pop Douglas. Drake Maye comes back into the game. It's 4th down. The Patriots go for it. Only missed 2 4th downs on the season.
9 for 11.
Portland Sun with a crazy catch on 1st and 5. Oh, my gosh. Can they get the clock down, though? Ooh. Oh, my gosh. They do. Wow, that's crazy. 2 seconds left.
And they missed the extra point?
The extra point? What, dude?
What the hell? Bro, what?
This might be the craziest game of the season so far.
This might be game of the season.
On the sideline thinking that they just won, and they might still end up.
Are they in field goal range?
They're in easy field goal range, right? Like the 25-yard line.
Wow.
That extra point might bite them. And we'll see if they make this. But again, finishing my thoughts up here about Pop Douglas, that fourth down conversion went to Pop. Drake Maye is behind Pop Douglas. Pop Douglas is running this way, extends his arm all the way back, leans, and pulls it in with one hand. For a guy who's 5'8", not what you expect, but I thought just an absolute baller in terms of his clutch factor.
Denver won.
They got it. It's a 39-yard field goal.
They got it.
Denver won the football game. Giants still lost this game despite a miracle that was given to them. And Jackson Dart cannot believe that they just lost this game. So look, while the Giants are stringing together some positivity, the Giants are still the Giants at the end of the day. They should have won this football game. They should have won this football game easy. I mean, that's talk about a joke of a franchise right now. Wow. That even when you're up, you're still down. Brian Daboll.
That's crazy to me. That's a choke job if there was.
But Rob, any final thoughts here about the wide receiver core for the Pats today?
Look, man, I really like just there's what I like about this wide receiver core. There is no one. I feel like there's just they make the most of their opportunities. It could be just about any guy. It really is between Kayshon Boutte and Stephon Diggs, but we really don't have a one like a guy that's like, okay, this is our guy. And this it may not be a bad thing because it's like you got to kind of like who are you going to guard? Because I think Kayshon Boutte is obviously having a breakout year. Stephon Diggs is proving a lot of the detractors wrong that said that he was basically washed. He's on pace for 1,000 yards. And also I believe we're going to have two guys that are on pace for 1,000 yards, Kayshon Boutte and Stephon Diggs. But even just Matt Collins, like the guy just makes clutch catches. And I think he's kind of flying under the radar that people are just not giving him enough credit. And also like Demario Douglas, look, I've been heavily critical of him, and I'm still going to be heavily critical of him because I'm okay. That's 2 games now. You've shown me something, but he's making big plays. That 4th and 1 play where he basically had to Space Jam throw his hand. That was on Drake Maye. That was a bad throw by Drake Maye and not Stephon Diggs. Demario Douglas reached back and caught that football. Clutch as clutch can be. That was an incredible play. Just looking across the board, and this is just like going down the list. I know we're talking about the wide receivers, but Austin Hooper in the end zone making that basically like
lost catch in the end zone. Not just working against the defender, Rob, but he's working against the sideline too.
That's
Moss is a guy. What a grab!
It's just like I love that it's kind of spread out, and which brings me to my next point. Bringing a guy like AJ Brown, who has like I know, like I actually looked up his cap hit. It's not what people have been alluding to. It's actually we would take on I think 770,000 of his contract or whatever it may. And the Eagles would only take like a $16.9 million dead cap hit, but that's besides the point. I think this might bring into our minds whether or not it's really even worth pursuing a wide receiver. Which I mean, was it Albert Breer that said that basically we're kind of like on. There's been rumors
around the wide receiver market. Yeah,
Chris Olave. Who was another name that was brought up? It was I know Chris Olave was one of them. It was another guy, I forget. But
well, Rob, we're gonna have to make a video about it later, so people are gonna have to wait to hear our thoughts on the other guy.
So
wait to hear our thoughts on the other one.
I don't know how I feel about like disrupting the chemistry of this wide receiver core because it's like there is a lot of guys that can make plays. It's just like whose day is it? Who's got the hot hand? So, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with what we got. I would like a wide receiver one, but I'm not. Beggars can't be choosers.
And so, spoiler alert: it was Mr. Speedster himself, Jordan Addison, that they're being linked back to. Which
Jordan Addison.
I don't know why Minnesota would move on from him. I didn't understand.
Contract year.
Is he already in contract year?
I believe so.
Has it already been that long? Wow.
I will look it up, but you can go ahead and
if that's
continue
the case, man, boy, oh boy, does time fly. But before we go ahead and we get on to the defense and then get on the Patreon members, real quick, do want to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of the channel over at Kalshi. We got Kalshi pinned in the chat for you guys right now. You can go to their website. You can download their mobile app. I've been having fun using Kalshi all football season long so far. Kalshi isn't a sports book. They're the best damn predictions market on the platform. You see these New England Patriots wins, right? What I love is that with Kalshi, you can see the trends that real people put on this odd, right? So when it comes to the New England Patriots having over 8.5 wins, back on August 29th, 45% of people took the Patriots over 8.5 wins. 39% of people took the Patriots over 9.5 wins. You see the trends have been going up for this team as of late. And now, today, it's been updated to where 93% of people have been taking the Patriots over 8.5 wins and 66% of people taking the Patriots over 9.5 wins. You can see in real time how people's thoughts are changing on this franchise as the weeks have go on so far this season. But pinned in the description box, pinned in the live chat right now, guys, supporting the sponsors is supporting the channel. Not only do they have New England's win total that you can put your odds and lines on, but you can also put it on other things such as the Patriots winning the division, Mike Vrabel being head coach of the year, Drake Maye for MVP. You can also bet on other things such as how long's the government going to be shut down? Is it going to rain tomorrow? Things like that you can only use over on Kalshi, man. So go ahead and check them out. Have some extra fun this football season. Rob, let's go ahead and let's get on to this defense because there were a lot of people that were really, really upset in my live watch party during the chat. And you go down, you allow an opening drive score. The Titans are scoring on you. It feels like this is going to be a game where Tennessee puts up 20-plus points, but ultimately, you only allow them to put up 13 points. They didn't allow a single point in the second half of football. Bend but don't break defense yet again. But it definitely felt like early on it was very frustrating because this Titans offense is full of rookies. You're on an interim head coach. You're on your backup offensive line coach heading into this game for the first game, and you had DK, the rookie wide receiver, killing you. You had Alec Ailmanor killing you again. Yeah, I thought that Cam Ward has some good times. Obviously, he's a rookie too. So just what were your thoughts on this defense?
My biggest thing is this. It seems like they're getting beat a lot on the underneath stuff. And at least one time per game, you're going to get a Carlton Davis pass interference call, or you're going to have like one big chunk play that's either starts the game or like towards the second quarter. We got to stop doing that. Like, I know we're trying to be a bend but don't break defense, but I don't think that they should be getting, because this is a team that coming into this game, they had 6 offensive touchdowns all season. 6. They're not a good offense. I believe they were 31st. They're terrible. And we can't have bad quarterbacks because Cam Newton is trash. We can't have bad quarterbacks perform to the level of Cam Ward. We can't have a quarterback of Cam Ward's caliber basically looking like Joe Montana out there at stretches throughout the game. It's not good. And I know we don't want to be a bend but don't break off defense, but they were just really like he was just taking what the defense gave him, and they were ripping off plays, and the yak was just crazy to me. We can't do that. But as far as I know I'm going to go back to it. Jordan Addison is not in a contract year, but next year is his last like guaranteed year of money, and it's a option, right? Yeah, it's a 5th-year option by the teams. $4.3 million. There's absolutely no way he plays on that.
Interesting. By the way, the Giants. I keep going back to this game. The Giants.
It's important.
The Giants allowed the Denver Broncos to score 33 points in the fourth quarter.
You're joking.
Oh, dude.
That's
wild.
That's terrible.
Did not put up like 40 points against the Giants defense, man. I'm gonna be
concerned. Listen, let's not let it's any given Sunday, man.
Nope, I'm gonna be concerned, Rob. That's you heard it here first. I'm gonna be concerned. But Cam Ward finished today's game going 25 of 34 for 255 yards, 10.2 yards per throw, 1 touchdown and interception, sacked 5 times, and an overall rating of 92.2. In terms of the receiving game, you allowed DK to go for 4 targets, 4 receptions, 70 yards. One of those was a 38-yard catch. Pollard kind of killed the Patriots in garbage time when it didn't matter. 6 targets, 6 receptions, 43 yards. Van Jefferson had some good moments, 4 targets, 4 receptions, 41 yards. Gunnar Helm, the rookie tight end, also had some really good moments, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 36 yards. And A.O. Manor, 5 targets, 2 receptions, 29 yards. With a long catch of 20 yards, kind of cooked Gonzalez a couple of times there. So I think that was the disappointing part, was kind of even seeing Gonzo getting cooked a couple times by these rookies. Honestly, I can only put so much on this defense because it has so much talent. And we said this is a top 10 defense that has the potential to be top 5. It's a lot of veterans. It's a lot of money that's put into this defense. There's no reason they should be struggling as much as they are, especially in the secondary. And to me, Rob, I really just wonder if at this point, the Patriots' issues within the secondary come down to these guys not being put in an area of their strengths. If you look at Carlton Davis, that is a man-to-man corner. You look at Gonzo, that is a man-to-man corner. We heard that they were going to play cat coverage, which is Gonzo, you got one guy. Carlton Davis, you got one guy. I think when you're asking this defense to play as much zone as they are, that's where the struggle becomes, because even last year, why did we see great play from Gonzo? Why was the secondary better than I feel like what we're seeing this year? It ultimately came down to the fact that they were playing a lot of man coverage, and it's kind of pick your poison because the Patriots are playing a lot of mobile quarterbacks. They're playing Josh Allen. They're playing Cam Ward. All these guys that if you put a quarterback spy on them and that quarterback spy is too slow where they get juked out, there's going to be nobody else defending Cam Ward from being able to run. And that guy is going to be running all over the field. He's going to be converting on third down. And then that also becomes a problem. And so I understand why they're running zone, but I just don't think that this amount of zone is playing to the strengths of the guys in the secondary. And it just felt like all game long that these Tennessee Titans wide receivers were finding the soft spot in the Patriot zone, sitting in it, and just getting these easy completions, getting the football going down, getting the football and going down. And early on, that's what was killing the Patriots. But bend but don't break. The team stepped up when it mattered the most. The pass rush stepped up when it mattered most. And of course, they also came up with 2 big-time defensive plays. You had the Marcus Jones interception in the 4th quarter, a guy who's just making plays for this football team every single week. You had the Calabon Chase on strip sack and scoop and score also on Cam Ward. I believe that was in the 3rd quarter. So again, the defense kind of just being what we expected to be. But when you start playing a team like Baker Mayfield and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, where you are going to have to show up in the secondary, you're going to have to play better than this. And honestly, that's a game where Baker has some mobility, but he's going to sit in the pocket and he's going to try to beat you through the air. I hope they play a lot more man. I don't know your thoughts about trying to switch up the scheme a little bit, but there's so many assets in the secondary that we've put in. There's so much talent in the secondary. They should not be one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah, so going back to Chase on real quick, 2 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, and 2 QB hits.
Would have been 3 sacks, Rob.
Probably the defensive player of the game. Like, really incredible job. Really having him on the roster and just the infectious energy that he plays with and the passion he plays with is an underrated signing. As far as this cornerback room and how we just defend, I don't get it, because you have a guy that was like top 5 in man coverage, and I'm not talking about Christian Gonzalez. I'm talking about Carlton Davis. According to PFF last year, he was top 5 in man coverage. I hope we kind of convert to playing man, because you have 2 guys that, like you said, cat coverage. That is your guy. That is my guy. That's how we got to play the game. And we have the capabilities of playing like that. And I just don't, I don't want to get beat by guys, not trying to undersell the wide receivers for the Titans, but like, it is what it is. These guys are not like, I don't think they're really NFL starters that was on the offense for the Titans. And we kind of let them play. We played down to them almost. And I just think that we need to get back to playing man coverage and kind of live with what we got. Marcus Jones is playing out of his freaking mind right now. Christian Gonzalez is getting beat, but it's not, I feel like it's because we're playing like you said, we're not putting these guys in the position to play to their specialties. So yes, it's working now, but you're going to get in a situation where you're going to play a team that's going to be dicing us up even more against if we keep playing zone. I would like us to see us revert back to playing a little bit more man coverage. And and just go from there. But as far as like maybe our linebacker group, man, like they have played like insane as of late, and our defensive line is getting pressure at will at this point, and it can be pretty scary if this team starts playing more man coverage and gives more time for our defenders on a defensive line to get to the quarterback and just be wrecking games. But if we play zone, I mean, a smart, even just sneaky good wide receiver is going to know, hey, listen, I'll sit and I'll try to find the openings and zone coverage, and they'll just keep digging and dunking us. I didn't like how we were not only just playing zone, but I don't know how many times you saw, Colby, that we would line our guys, whether it be Carlton Davis or actually just our whole cornerback room. They were lining up 10, 15 yards off the wide receiver. And I'm like, what are we doing right here? Like, why are we playing so far off the guy? Are you afraid that they're going to beat you over the top? I mean, at that point, then just have safety help. But these are guys that really were lauded to be guys that were, like you said, cat guys. And it didn't make sense to me.
Guys, do me a big favor and slam that like button. We still only got about 40, 45 likes on the video, man, and we're giving you guys a long show today. So make sure you guys slam that like button. Really helps support these shows that Rob and I put a lot of time into. We hit 22,000 subscribers today, so I want to give a big thank you to each and every single one of you.
Wait, no. Sound off that alarm. You deserve it. Sound off that alarm.
We hit 22,000 subscribers today, man, and I want to thank you guys. I want to give you a lot of love because, look, at the end of the day, I'm the one producing the content, but you guys are the ones showing the love. You guys are the ones watching. You guys are the ones that are allowing this channel and this family to grow here at Patriots Global. So I appreciate you, whether you were here from day one or whether you just joined today. Happy to have you be a part of the family and a lot of great content coming up. I said it on my watch party today, but I graduated with my bachelor's in sportscasting in December. And once that time comes along, we're going to be able to get back to the channel and make videos on a more regular basis when I don't have to worry about getting my college degree. And so for those wondering, man, I feel like Patriots Global hasn't, been as consistent here on YouTube over the last 2.5 years. Well, that's probably part of the reason. And so I'm really, really excited to get back to the channel and make it a much bigger priority, not just YouTube, but all the other social medias combined with it, man. And so it's going to be really, really exciting, man. So hit that like button. Join the family if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button. Of course, follow Rob too on Instagram at Patriots7.
Not about me. Like, let's just take a second to really hype. This guy has been doing it for years. Me and him were both at 4,000 followers apiece. And this is the culmination of 7 or 8 years of knowing each other. Everybody and their mother was doubting us that we wouldn't make anything of this. But this is not about me. This man right here, the quality of human being he is, and the level of the hard work that he puts into it, the amount of hours that he stays into this guy stays up until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. This guy texts me at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And that just goes to show you the level of dedication he has to his craft. What you're going to get on a weekly basis cannot be undersold. This is the best YouTube Patriots content creator, and I'll probably say the best content creator on YouTube in general when it comes to the NFL. He's incredible at what he does, and I don't think he's too humble to hype himself up, but I love him to death, and I'm really freaking proud of him. And just know it now, this is the next big thing right here.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. The grind's for you guys, man. The grind's for you every single day. It's for you guys. It's for all you supporting me. You can let down yourself, but you don't want to let down the people that rely on you. I also do this for the guy in the mirror, man. Every single day I wake up, I remember the little kid that used to love watching the Patriots. And I still do, but that's the one. That's the one who never thought that he would ever get to meet a player, let alone be where I am today. So again, thank you guys so much. I genuinely appreciate it. But my last thoughts here on this defense before we bring in the Patreon members to wrap up today's episode is just run defense continues to remain dominant. Tajay Spears, 5 attempts, 22 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. Tony Pollard, 6 carries, rather, not 6 targets, 6 carries, 18 yards, 3 yards per run. The Patriots have not allowed a 100-yard rusher this season. In fact, the New England Patriots are one of very, very few teams who have not allowed a 50-yard plus rusher this season. And so they've done it against James Cook. They're going to have harder opponents this upcoming season, right? Like you got some guys like Bucky Irving with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're going to have in a couple of weeks, you're going to have Bijan Robinson, who's killing it in the game right now. So some more tests coming up. But right now, the New England Patriots run defense is top 3 in the NFL. No debate about it. Stats do back that up. And I think that's what's kind of upsets me a little bit more about today's performance is just that, look, you held them to 13 points. And at the end of the day, that's quite literally all that matters. But when you play better teams, you're not necessarily going to have that leadway to say, we're going to get off to this slow start and we're going to shut them down as time goes on. If they cook you in the beginning, they might end up cooking you all game, especially when you're playing a team like we mentioned, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the fact that you were able to shut down the run game, make them one-dimensional, you had a rookie quarterback throwing the ball, 3 rookie receivers in Gunnar Helm, DK, and A.O. Manor, and you struggled still nonetheless. It's definitely some cause for concern, but I'm not going to hit the panic button just yet because, like you always say, Rob, any given week. And one thing is for certain, while that secondary still has things to figure out, that run defense has been stepping up big time to help make a cause of concern not as big as it realistically could be. But any last thoughts on this defense?
Well, I wasn't going to say the defense, but I was going to say just in general, the defense did their thing today. 13 points to any team is a definitely a pat on the back. But this is the only team in the NFL to be 4-0 on the road. 4-0 on the road. Now you just got to kind of do that at home. But like I will take that because no team is undefeated on the road other than us. Got to play the opponents that are put in front of you.
This is true. I mean, it's kind of crazy that we're so good on the road, but we're like not good at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just thinking about like the playoffs, and I'm like, wow, if I could be on the road or be at home, I would love to say give it to us at Gillette. But I think right now I feel more confident being on the road and then winning a playoff game than I do at home.
I hate to be that guy. What was it? The 2007 Giants?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. You're going to say 2021.
The 2007 Giants were road warriors. And listen, man, and I'll say the 2001 Patriots. Look, at the end of the day, any given Sunday, I'm not saying this team is going to win a Super Bowl, but all you have to do is get in the dance, and you have just as much chance as the next team.
Agreed. Well, let's go ahead and let's bring on these Patreon members before we wrap up the marathon show that we had today. Let's bring on Red Sox first. Red Sox, how you doing?
Pretty good, you?
I'm good, man. I mean, a win is a win.
Man's got some pep in his step. Who are you?
Who, me?
Bro, you always come in here like you know Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. He's like, oh bother.
Well, look, in fairness, those are usually on the days where I'm getting out now, and it's after 50-hour week.
I get you.
Today was a little bit of a short day. I got out right after the Patriots won, so that's nice.
Hey, there you go.
But I mean, they looked good. They looked really good in terms of all around being able to play football. I mean, yeah, we can like nitpick and everything and all this other nonsense, but they played the better game, and that's why they won. Putting it simply, they held the Titans to 13 points. I mean, you're saying that, and back to a point that I heard you guys make. You said like the cornerbacks playing off the ball. I think they're playing off the ball more so than usual right now, is because they have 2 young safeties, one of which is a rookie, and the other one is just an inexperienced safety, and like I think is the Hawkins.
Jalen Hawkins.
Kyle Duggar got burnt a couple of times, and their safety got burnt on that long touchdown play. So I can understand the play calling on wanting to call off the ball, off the line, deep coverage for your cornerbacks because your safeties aren't playing top tier football. And they've been playing good, but you're going to have to, at some point, you're going to have to push a little bit more. And I think Craig Woodson is going to be the guy that's going to play a little bit more, because I think he's really stepped it up, and Marte Mapu has stepped it up. But I think that's where you're sitting right now in terms of your defensive play calling. You're kind of limited on, if we call man, cover man robber where you have a spy, your safety, because you're at risk of your safety getting extremely burnt, and you have a inexperienced safety playing that position over top. It's more than likely going to happen. You saw it today. Marcus Jones, missed the coverage on the rookie, and the safety misread it and was running the other way.
Yeah, Craig Woodson and Marcus Jones with that big touchdown to the rookie wide receiver DK, the only touchdown I think they scored.
And
right?
That's where I'm just saying, like, I think that you need to understand that you have a younger guy back there. And Woodson's been good. He's been solid. He hasn't been like, oh, this X factor player. He hasn't. He's been decent. And that's all they've needed him to do. So you're going to have some of those plays. You're going to have those mistakes. You're going to have, and they're human. People like to forget that they're human. They're human. They're going to make mistakes out there. And that, it's just going to happen. It's just part of the game.
Yeah, I think those are great points. What were your thoughts about the offense?
The offense looked good. Aside from a couple of missteps from the offensive line where they let Drake Maye get sacked, whatever. But their receivers like Kayshon Boutte, I'm saying it for a while, LSU receivers are always, for some reason, top of the line, really, really good receivers. At least for the past 5 years, they've put out the 2 best receivers in the NFL at currently. And they've put out 2 receivers who are probably who are the best receivers on their team. Like 4 teams now have LSU receivers who are the best receivers on their team. And Kayshon Boutte, who is emerging as their number 2. Can we say that?
Yeah, well, I think we can say number 2. Like, me and Robert talking about this earlier.
It's a toss-up, man, between him and Stephon Diggs for 1.
I definitely think Stephon Diggs is number 1, especially in terms of coverage. But I think when realistically talking,
it's closer than you think.
What is he going to be? Like, I don't think that Kayshon Boutte is a wide receiver 1. I don't think he's ever going to be a wide receiver 1. But you don't need him to be. Can he be a wide receiver 2? Yes, I think he can be that. And a wide receiver 2 is still a very important piece to have. I really think that what this team needs at wide receiver is that number 1 bona fide guy who dictates coverage. And even if he's double teamed, can still go up there and make consistent plays every single week. That's the guy that they need.
Yep. But like I said, they've put out great receivers. So that's always who I look at with, the receiving side of things. Pop Douglas is still Pop Douglas, had an amazing catch today.
Yeah.
That was just beautiful. Absurd. Yeah. So it's like he's, your slot / gadget guy. And I like that for him. That's a good role. Rhamondre Stevenson, I think, had a great game too. And you guys, I think, hit the nail on the head with he was in the first 4 games or 5 games, however many games they've played. He's been afraid to run the ball, and can't have that with a running back. That's your main job. And I think that he played well where he just covered the ball. If he can continue to do that, he'll have a team. He'll have a job on this team next year.
I agree.
He just has to cover the ball and run. That's it. Cover the ball with contact. Can't just hold on to the ball and then try to do all this fancy nonsense with your other arm. Just cover the ball. Like if there's 2 guys, there's always a guy. The first guy that makes contact with you isn't always the guy that's the next guy that's near you. There's usually a guy within 2, especially for running backs. There's always the guy that's gonna come in and make that second hit, and that's what's been killing him recently. With the fumble in Carolina, he got hit and dove and then fumbled the ball. So
it's not even just that. It's some of it being like him turning over the ball with non-contact. That kind of concerns me. That's just a fundamental issue. Like him when he goes and hits the turf, or just like fumbling it just because of fumbling it. He's gonna have to clean those things up. It's sometimes you're just gonna get situations where the guy just punches it out. It is what it is. Every running back deals with that. It's the ones where he kind of fumbles it on his own. That you got to kind of clean that up.
Yep, and I think that he's done a better job with that in the past 2 weeks. He had that punch out with Buffalo, and that happens, like you said. But I think that he's definitely been a bit better. Granted, he hasn't run the ball a lot. This is a small sample size. So we're gonna have to see where that goes with him. But if he can do what he did today for the rest of the season, I think that he'll have a job next year on this team. But
I agree, man. Shout out. You got any last words, Red Sox, before we get into DTN?
They look great. That's it. They look great.
They look great. Red Sox.
That's big praise from this guy.
That's good from Red Sox,
that's
man.
Big
Red
praise,
Sox
man.
Good about this team, man. I like it. I love hearing
I'll
the
take it. I'll take it.
Come on and be like, yeah. We up right now. It feels good to hear it, man. It feels good to hear it.
I'll take it.
And if there's one guy that we know that is always up, it's our boy DTN. DTN, what's going on, man?
Here we go.
I am doing good, especially capping off with the win, especially for my homecoming weekend at my college, though, getting a win at my homecoming game between Bridgewater and Dean, and now this. But before I want to get to my take, I just want to clear this air about something that has been still lingering from the AFC's roundtable that I'm still a little pissed off. Back in week 4, you have these idiotic fans from these two trash fan bases, the Dolphins and the Jets, saying that, oh, it's just the Panthers. 3 weeks later,
speak on it.
I don't know anymore, because you have those 3 idiots eating crow right now when the Panthers put belt to ass on these 2 stupid ass franchises. And I love to see these 2 misery from these 2 idiots, both TD and Richie, eating words that shouldn't mean anything. And I can't wait for week 8 when Buffalo's gonna meet the same fate too.
Oh, they are playing them. They play them next week. Oh, buddy.
Buffalo, yeah.
Oh, buddy. Don't overlook the Panthers. Do not overlook that team.
Bryce Young went down with an injury, so.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, that's something.
There goes my freaking.
Sorry to rain on your parade here, guys, but just thought I'd throw that out there before we got.
Is it significant?
It was like an ankle injury or something.
He's fine. Put some duct tape on it.
Duct tape it. You know what? Give him a crutch. He'll be good.
But nevertheless, I was not surprised when I saw the beginning of the game where we would be starting slow again, because at some point throughout the rest of the season, you got to be better than that, especially with the defense, especially when it comes to pass coverage. I don't know what has been going on with the secondary, but it seems like we didn't get pressure onto one of the worst offensive lines I've ever seen, and one of the worst, I'll say the worst quarterback with the worst completion rate, the worst passing rating ever. And I'm surprised that we didn't get pressure on him in the beginning. And then our secondary did next to nothing in the beginning, when they basically did not take care of Dykey or Ailmaner, when basically Calvin Ridley is out. Granted that this was the guy that Pats fans wanted back in the 2024 offseason, and then Titans gave him that stupid deal for like 4 years and $92 million. But nevertheless, we got our shit together towards the very end. I like to see a signature win, technically. And basically, I somewhat predicted that the Patriots would win 31-13. I was close enough, because my predictions was 35-13. Expecting Drake Maye to have...
I thought it was going to be like...
10.
Bro, I thought it was going to be like 50-3, because I was like... Coming into this game, interim head coaches coming off of a fire with 18-12. So this is not something that would have been like not monumental, but like out of the norm that a interim coach would win, especially when they're above 500. But look, man, that was the uptick in the beginning of the game. They mix it up, but I think that like they kind of ran out of plays. That's what it kind of looked like.
Yeah, and again, when it comes to interim coaches, you're going up against Mike McCoy, who has done next to nothing when he was the head coach for the San Diego Chargers. 9-7, 9-7, 4-12, I think it was, and then 5-11. So basically, we all know who Mike McCoy is if you have been around in the league for like God knows how long. So we basically know who Mike McCoy is when he was the head coach for the San Diego Chargers, now LA Chargers. But nevertheless, I knew that the Titans are a shit show. This was basically revenge of the Mike Vrabel, revenge of the Harold Landry, revenge of the Robert Spillane, just to put duct tape onto that owner's mouth, who is basically similar to the late Bud Adams, who I think screwed the Houston Oilers. But that doesn't matter. I want to get to the segment quickly and then give
Winners
my
and losers. All right, let's hear them.
So it's the winners is kind of difficult because there's so many great plays. But if I want to talk about the winners that stood out to me from that game, one having to be Caleb Von Chason, especially when he had 2.5 sacks, one fumble recovery. I thought it was going to be a forced fumble, but Cam Ward, and I saw a post from Carlos on X saying that he was doing like a I don't know how to describe this, but he's doing like a reminiscence of Will Levis when he's known for turning the ball over. So basically, it's a reminiscence of that.
Yeah, he went back to pass and it just flew out of his hands.
That play reminded me of like Jameis Winston FSU like national championship, like about to throw the ball and just it goes behind him.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Second winner, I'm gonna say Kayshon Boutte again, because it's like without any given day, he will come out and be like your reliable wide receiver for you. Even though everybody has been gawking about wanting Stephon Diggs to get his first touchdown, at least Kayshon Boutte has been consistently reliable in games when it mattered the most. And I feel like if he continues to have another impressive game, I would say that he should get at least a contract extension. I would say for at least 3 years and $60 million, something more reasonable. And then my final winner, I'm not going to give Drake May his flowers just yet because we all know Drake May does well. And I'm not going to give Rhamondre Stevenson just yet because this was against the Titans' shitty defense, and I want to see if Rhamondre can stay consistent, so I'm not going to go there just yet. But it has to be the run. It has to be the defensive line, including besides Caleb Von Chason, another sack from Milton Williams, another sack from Harold Landry. This defensive line it's like night and day with this defensive line compared to last year's and this year's. Since I still remember how last year we were dead last in sacks, this year we have improved a lot as a defensive line. So huge props to the defensive line, especially when we invested so much in that defensive line throughout the offseason. I think it's really important, and I'm going to hark on Mike Vrabel's introductory press conference that you win games by building the trenches, and they basically built the trenches and win games from there. And then here comes my losers, and let's safe to say that my losers are the first quarter defense, basically looking confused, having no idea what they're doing, basically looking like if they're seeing ghosts or whatnot. But I hope that they do a better job at home next week against Cleveland, where they're going up against the worst offense in the league. I will be shocked if they start off slow once again. But this is typical New England fashion when they always start off slow in the beginning of games. My second loser, I'm sorry to say this, it has to be Jerod Wilson. I like this guy. I think that he will have time to grow, but pass blocking, he needs to improve a lot, especially where he somewhat allow 1 or 2 sacks or 3 sacks onto Drake May. I think he got beat a lot, so I hope that Jerod Wilson improves, especially whenever you're going up against another formidable defensive line, which consists of Myles Garrett and the rookie Mason Graham. So you have to improve, especially when you're I get it, he's a rookie. I get it, he's playing out of position. Granted that he was supposed to come here as a center, and he was shifted over to left guard, considering how well Bradbury is. And then my third loser, this is going to break some hearts, Travion Henderson. I'm sorry. I love Travion Henderson. At least he's securing the ball, but he needs to have some flashes. Granted that this is his rookie season as well, so I'm not saying that he should have like an immediate impact, but at the same time, he needs to have a little bit more production. Granted that he has been securing the ball, which has impressed me a lot, but I want to see more from Trevion Henderson.
Yeah, no, I certainly agree.
I hope that by week 11, when we play against the screwball Jets, that he has a breakout game, because you're not going to have a immediate start, especially with the beginning of the season. Like, give him some time. It's like when we saw the preseason, and I'll hark on the preseason again, he looked really well. But this is the regular season where things are completely different. So I hope Trevion Henderson gets his moment when the time comes. But when you talked about Colby, when you said that TD should have his changed, I think now it's safe to say that he can have TD pass talk, because for the second time in a row, according to my colleagues, I did a poll on my channel asking if I need a name change just so I don't copy like Tom Curran's Patriots Talk podcast. And I changed the name from Patriots Talk to Patriots Clubhouse. So basically, this is not like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, but this is the Patriots Clubhouse. So basically, the majority of the folks in my channel said that they want to see Patriots Talk. So, Patriots Clubhouse, excuse me. So it's now officially Patriots
I like
Clubhouse.
it, man. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out DTN from Patriots Clubhouse. All right, DTN, switching it up on us, releasing some of that weekly content for us over on YouTube, man. But Rob, any last thoughts here before we log off? I know we kind of had a marathon show today. I feel like we broke down playoff outlook, offense, defense. I think we broke down everything you could possibly talk about with this team today.
No, just appreciate the people turning out. We're either at worst, third in the AFC. Depends on how the Steelers Packers game turns out. But yeah, I'm happy with where we're at this season. But got another tough team coming up. We'll break it down.
Yeah, we're number 2. So
right now, because it just depends how the Steelers Packers game goes. If the Steelers win, they play
Thursday against the Bengals.
Wait a second.
So Steelers, that's probably next week. They played Thursday night football, Bengals and Steelers.
Did the Steelers? Oh, so the Steelers had a bye. So, but the Steelers had a bye though, right? That's the only reason why.
I'm not sure if the Steelers have had their bye week or not. I just know that for week 7 they played Cincinnati and lost.
Well, they only have 2 losses right now, so that tells me that they had a bye already.
Probably. Actually,
so
they did.
That'll put us a half game ahead right now, only because of the fact of the matter that. So we're the 2 seed. I'll take it for now.
Hey, man, I'll take it. I'll take any seed in the playoffs at this point. But, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys follow Rob on Instagram at Patriots7, as you see his handle right below his name. But until next time, we appreciate you guys for watching. And, of course, go Pats.
Go Pats.